Me now, co-host of National Report, Emma Rechenberg, alongside tax attorney Rebecca Walser. Great to have you both here. Very, very interesting because, again, as we said, we know that Trump is the ultimate developer. I mean, that's what he does. He creates real estate. He creates fantasies where people can go and stay and enjoy. But obviously, Emma talking about the Gaza Strip, very, very sensitive, completely obliterated after the horrible Hamas-Israel war. People still wondering what's the best decision. What about the actual Gazans who are being forced to move out? It's a tough situation.
No doubt about it. But I think what we can all agree on is what's happening now is not working. Even this morning on National Report, I was speaking to a woman whose son is still being held hostage by Hamas. And we know that civilians have appeared at some of the hostage release celebrations that we've seen in Gaza. So there's a big question about what sort of neighborly activities they could provide to the Israelis right now. We don't know. We know that that is a terrible relationship. As for this proposal, I think what Trump is implying here is to get reaction, which is also what we've seen with his negotiations to end the war in Ukraine. You want the neighbors in the Middle East to actually step into this role of taking an action and fixing up Gaza. So I'm curious to see what happens. As for AI, we know this is fake. It's getting more creative. This one clearly, though, I don't think anyone's getting fooled by
No,
this.
I don't think so. Also, I think, Rebecca, there's something to President Trump that as many people get to know him better, he's very funny. He has a sense of humor, and he does like to poke people. He does like to get reactions. And I mean, there's obviously an element of humor when we see Elon Musk eating hummus by the sea. I mean, it's intended to garner a reaction, and it certainly is. And it seems like people just can't realize that sometimes he likes to take something with an iota of truth and then throw like an entire shaker of salt in with it.
Yeah, and I think he's actually making a bigger point. I mean, to me, this is maybe AI satire, right? It's definitely AI generated. We know that. But it looks like Dubai. I got to be honest. I've been to Dubai. It looks like Dubai. And I think that the point is that the point that I'm taking from it, and maybe I'm inventing my own point here, but the point I'm taking from it is Hamas is unwilling to actually recognize Israel. So all of these groups out there, all of this consternation around a two-state solution doesn't work when one of the parties doesn't even recognize Israel. Now, they did remove from their actual charter in 2017 the call for the elimination of Israel. They've been governing the Gaza Strip by de facto since 2007. They removed that in 2017, that plank. But we don't want to eliminate Israel. But they refuse to recognize Israel. So how can you have a two-state solution with one of the states not recognizing the other? And I think that's the bigger point.
Yeah, that's a great point. I don't know, Emma, it's interesting because, again, so many things going a little more macro here that the president has been doing. They do seem like they are intentionally done to ruffle some feathers.
What, the tariffs? The 25% tariffs didn't do anything? Yes, of course, that got a reaction. That got world leaders to actually come to D.C. and spend some time with Trump or pick up the phone and make the call. And then guess what? He's holding off on the tariffs. I think he's also obviously switching up how the press pool is covering this White House, which is a very welcome change.
Yeah, what do you think about that? You like
I do. I mean, it was great to see James Rosen in the mix today, our chief White House correspondent. I'm wondering about those media outlets the past 4 years that thought that they could perpetuate this narrative that President Biden was top of his game. And also, didn't they see that note card that President Biden had with the reporter picture and the question and the order in which he would call on them? Where was all the uproar then?
Yeah. All right. We're going to have to leave it there. All right. Emma and Rebecca, great conversation.